But enough of the people going crazy. Let's talk about one person in specific going crazy. Nick Diaz. Did you hear about his tirade after his fight with BJ Penn this past weekend?
No, what was it?
He after the fight.
I know it made George St. Pierre crazy.
Yeah, well, he said that. What did he say? 1 second.
I didn't know what he said. I saw the press conference where Dana White.
Yeah, Dana White flipped out also.
No, Dana White. He was fine with it. I think he likes Nick Diaz. I think he likes the. I know he does.
People have said Nick Diaz is the new Tito Ortiz, kind of the person to kind of jab at Dana, get him some hype or whatever.
I think coming out and beating BJ the way he did, Dana White forgives all. I watched almost the whole press conference. Dana was just fine. He's on the Nick Diaz bandwagon. He can't wait. You can tell get this Diaz GSP fight because they just kicked Carlos Condit out.
Yeah, he said George St. Pierre flipped out and wants Nick Diaz in the ring. Nick Diaz said that he thinks Georgie's not hurt. He thinks he's just scared to fight him, and so that really pissed off GSP.
Yeah, no, GSP was, supposedly said that Nick Diaz is the most disrespectful person out there, and he can't wait to beat his ass, basically.
He says, I've always wanted this fight, and now I want it even more. I can't wait till Super Bowl weekend. Apparently Diaz has also been complaining about money issues. He says...
all those guys.
And complaining about having to be the bad guy in order to get the fight.
He's like a little boy up there.
Yeah.
In the press conference, he says, about St. Pierre being a role model. He likes... he doesn't really have a problem with GSP. He likes that he's a role model, and he wishes that he could be that, but he never had anybody to show him or to teach him how to be that. It's just funny. I mean, like, he's this grown man, but he's really just a little boy, telling you right there, like, I wish I could be good, but I never had anybody in my life that would show me the way.
Apparently, he's had to deal with some hard times. He says, I run by hundreds of these houses with big front yards with fountains, and I have to go back to my neighborhood where my car gets robbed. He said, I've got some dude out in front of my house looking for cigarette butts. He said, while he was complaining about not getting enough money to buy a house, White interrupted him and saying the purse to fight Penn alone was more than enough than to buy a house. And so Diaz said he was too busy training to buy a house, So Diaz is really just upset.
They got $75,000 for Friday night, so that should help it out.
But so he's getting the fight that he wanted from the beginning. He's getting the GSP fight.
I've always been on the Nate Diaz bandwagon. I think they're awesome. I was actually really sad when Nick had to go to Strikeforce, but you see, it worked out well for him. He became the champion, and I saw that he was actually disappointed. He said he was disappointed, that he came over and GSP wasn't terribly interested in this fight. There wasn't the hype of unifying the belts and Strikeforce champion versus UFC champion. GSP. I guess Nick Diaz's hype has really grown just from this. Getting rejected from the GSP fight and getting BJ Penn and doing what he had to do, come out and knocking the shit out of BJ Penn into retirement, literally.
Yeah. Apparently Dana thinks that the Strikeforce fighters really weren't all that great. He said he thinks the competition to Strikeforce wasn't really the level of UFC.
Well, they brought everybody from there over. You know what I mean? They brought over Jake Shields and
Shields.
It is true. I mean, you see what happens, but.
So they wanted to see if Nick Diaz was a joke first. So putting him in with Penn was a good idea. And obviously Penn destroyed Nick Diaz, so he deserves this.
Got destroyed.
Diaz destroyed Penn, so obviously he deserves this fight. And
unfortunately, I was at one of these Halloween parties. I didn't get to see the UFC 137. It was killer. It hurt my heart not to be able to watch it. But
did you hear about the Nelson Krokop fight?
Just from the press conference, I got home immediately, got on YouTube, and I tried to find any clips or anything like that. I haven't been able to find clips.
Apparently, he destroyed Krokop. He sat on top of him and gave him kind of that Brock, fist pound TKO thing.
Oh, I would have hoped it would have been like a standing.
No. Yeah, he took Krokop down and pretty much sat on top of him. He used his weight advantage to crush him.
That's not this whole promo thing on the makeover of Roy Nelson. the new Nelson, completely made over, lost all his weight,
dropped a little bit of weight,
this and that. I mean, he'll look exactly the same. I've never seen a makeover story where a guy looks exactly the same. Hopefully his conditioning
after the fight, because
everything else is a little better.
After the fight, he demanded a shot at the heavyweight champion. He said that he wants to fight the winner of the Cain Dos Santos fight.
I did see that. I think he needs to get Brock.
The loser of the Brock Overeem fight should fight Roy. And the winner,
loser?
Yeah. And
because the winner's going to get the belt.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, so let's... Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. But I'm just intrigued to see Brock and...
Oh, no, Roy will be a good fight.
Roy Nelson, but you're right. So let's... I'm hoping, knock on wood, that Brock beats...
Overeem. Which is a long shot at happening.
Oh.
Yeah, poor Brock.
Yeah, listen, the guy... You can't come back from all these life-threatening... illnesses when you weren't even really a top-notch competitor to begin with.
And the way he got destroyed by Cain in that fight really made him kind of...
Absolutely destroyed. Yeah. Listen, though, I don't know. Maybe Cain just has an iron jaw and iron will because Brock brought it to him. Brock came out swinging knees. I mean, he was landing a lot of really intense stuff, and I mean,
couldn't take him down. Cain shook all of them off.
Cain just shook it completely off. This giant monster. That's completely incredible. So, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen in that? Live on Fox,
I say Cain probably takes it. Dos Santos.
I'd like to see Cain go ahead and.
It's a 5-round fight. People are thinking Dos Santos may have a shot if it goes 5 rounds. Maybe I'll outlast him, and maybe because apparently Dos Santos' cardio is like out of this world.
Please, you're not going to tire out Cain.
Yeah.
I think now that he's the champion, I think he's probably working harder than ever. There's no way he's going to want to be a one pump chump.
Dos Santos is no joke though. But yeah, it's gonna be a great fight. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So Anderson Silva responded to Chael Sonnen's comments about patting his wife on the ass and having her making a mistake. He's saying that he doesn't deserve a title shot. He says, I don't get where I'm being arrogant or provoking someone by doing these antics. He ends up degrading his image in the sport. There's no room for that in the sport. The most important thing to do, which he has to beat me. He failed the drug test, which is worse. Basically saying Sonnen a joke. So the talk now is of Sonnen versus Belfort.
The talk now? What do you mean?
Yeah, Silva's refusing to fight Sonnen.
He's refusing?
Pretty much. Saying he doesn't want to help this guy out. He's talked all this shit about him. He doesn't want to give him the payday. And really Sonnen really hasn't done very much to deserve another title shot. So Sonnen versus Belfort is probably going to be happening. And maybe if...
I watched the video where Vitor came out in defense of this whole thing and basically just said that the reason why Chael Sonnen has to do all this talking is because he's a boring fighter.
Yeah.
And he did, this and that.
Yeah.
I'll watch either one of those fights. Obviously, I want to see Chael Sonnen versus
Silva
or Belfort.
Belfort's a good fight.
I love Vitor Belfort no matter what. I mean, I don't care when the guy's Randy Couture's age. I'm going to want to see this guy fight. I'll always have hope. From those early days, those early fights, there's nobody like Vitor.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for him to get that mojo back.
Yeah, he falls off. He has off days on some fights, like the fight with Silva where he just got knocked out in 2 seconds. So people say the pressure gets to him.
Okay, I'll watch either one of those fights. I'm interested in that, but and I see you can't fault Anderson Silva for that. You can fault Anderson Silva for a lot of things, but not for refusing to fight a guy who he beat, injured, and
the guy was juiced,
and the guy was the guy.
His testosterone levels were through the roof. But the talk is Belfort wants to fight in Brazil again. He wants to be on a Brazil card. They're talking about going back there in January. But White said that there's no way he'd allow Sonnen to fight in Brazil because he's afraid it would be some kind of riot.
Yeah. They'd probably string him up and
like the Al Qaeda has done to the black Africans in Libya, string them up on their feet, and
like that,
wail like a pinata.
But those are our allies,
right?
We love them.
So I know it was some sad news on Friday. The Rangers went down, and they kind of with the whimper. I was hoping. Did you watch the entire game, Jared?
No. I knew the writing was on the wall after Game 6.
Yeah.
If you can't win it when you're up 3 runs going into the 8th inning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ran to the fridge to grab a beer.
Yeah.
And you know, my wife is asking me how it was going, and I've just said they've got it. You know, like they're up 3 runs.
I had my camera out ready to start recording the people's reaction whenever they won the game. You know, I was ready.
6
for
outs
it.
to go. I said, if they don't win it tonight, and to me there was no way they weren't going to. I said, if they don't win it tonight,
they were 1 strike away a couple of times.
They don't deserve to win it twice.
Yeah,
they're 1 strike. Up, you know, pop up ball, just get the out.
Yeah.
Just one.
Couldn't do it.
1 strike away.
St. Louis may have been that team of destiny. You know, this wasn't the Rangers' year.
For 2 years in a row, it's not the year.
To get there.
You know, we're the ones who boldly put the video online that said the Texas Rangers.
We're not the ones. You were the one that said it. I didn't go out on that limb.
I was so confident that the Texas Rangers, this was their year. This was the year. You don't go to the world. They're the Buffalo Bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but one more time. If they get there again, they lose again next year. Then they definitely are the Buffalo Bills. But we had so many years of heartache with Texas, the Rangers. I think that a couple of lost World Series is still pretty good. No. That's the mindset of a loser. That's the mindset of a loser. Unfortunately, I had that mindset.
The Rangers had to win this, and that they didn't. There's no excuse. It doesn't matter how successful your franchise has been before. You know that you've never had any playoff wins. You know before last year.
Right.
Doesn't matter. You had to do it this year. This was your year. You don't get to the World. Obviously, you see from the history, you're not guaranteed to go to the World Series. And do it 2 times.
I think they
in
may
a
have
row.
had that mentality too when they got down to it. Like they couldn't put them away. They may have had the mentality. That if it doesn't happen, we can come back tomorrow and come back next year and do it. Kind of like the Miami Heat had with the Mavericks.
When Josh Hamilton in the 10th inning hits the home run, 2-run home run. I mean, there's no way they were going to lose that game. But okay. They just solidified it. Game over, and here they come. I want to talk about the controversial. Let's walk Pujols, who hasn't had a hit this game.
Yeah,
he had a terrible Game 6, and we walked him.
Yeah,
to bring up Lance Berkman, who has already destroyed us the whole game.
Yeah.
It was terrible managing.
You think of the guy with the mullet that wouldn't do very much, but
terrible managing, terrible all around just. Mindset. They had a mindset of a loser. You know. Anytime you see C.J. Wilson, you're going to lose.
You think his cockiness is overcompensating for maybe some talent he's deficiated in? Do you think maybe he's just talking all that shit because he knows he's not that great?
What shit does he talk?
You ever heard the bragging montage of C.J. Wilson on the ticket? Yeah, he talks about how he can hold his breath for like 3 minutes underwater. His TV screen is like huge in his house and all this type of stuff.
I hate him. Get him off my team. He's a loser.
He has that long hair though. I like the long hair, but that's about it.
He's a straight edge loser.
Yeah. We need to get an ace. A lot of people are thinking CJ Sabathia, but I saw this just
now. No, we don't. We had one last year and it completely failed us. Yes.
So what do the Rangers need to do?
The Rangers need to just win.
Just win.
They put themselves in the position. They had all the players. They just have to win.
Yeah.
You have to stop making superstars out of Brian Wilson and out of Lance Berkman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make some superstars out of Josh Hamilton.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz, Ian Kinsler. Like where? Don't get me started.
Yeah, it was a very sad sports week with the Cowboys getting destroyed last night too. But and no basketball in the foreseeable future, so we have the Stars. The Stars are looking pretty good though, so we have the Stars.
Yeah, whatever.
So we're coming in the final 2 minutes, Jer. It's been a very exciting episode of Mind Control. The anticipation has been killing the viewers.
Subscribe. Listen, we're heading into the last 2 minutes. In the next bonus hour. Really, it's going to be about 3 minutes.
Yeah. We're
going to head to the backyard. Eddie's going to mace me live. Don't forget to check that out. We'll see what it looks like when an Occupy Wall Street protester gets maced by a cop on Halloween. Not looking forward to it, but we'll see what happens.